I'm Jeff Philbin, and this is Dinner Diaz, answering life's most important question. What's for dinner? Today, we reveal your most read recipes, the dishes that you've downloaded the most from dinnerdiaz.com. From Southern staples to tips for making the perfect pizza, join us for the countdown. We're here every day sharing delicious ideas for dinner, and on dinnerdiaz.com, we've got quite the treasure trove of recipes. There's something for everyone, no matter what you're hungry for. Well, every single one is worthy of making into a meal. If you're new to us, you might not know where to start. So let us share the top 5 most read recipes at dinnerdiaz.com. And in true Casey Kasem style, let's start with number 5, a family recipe shared by Chef Clayton Perrette from Hugh Parlor and Chop House in Dunedin's Fenway Hotel. Cornbread casserole.
I have ground beef.
Okay.
That's what I started this one with. Traditionally, this is what my grandmother, my mother would use. We want to start slowly sauteing the meat to where it's about a medium to almost done.
Okay.
And once all the other ingredients go in, we're going to finish it over in the oven. So I did 1 whole onion. Preference, if you like a little less onion, that's completely fine. I'm gonna add a little bit more of our jalapenos. Like I said, I like a little bit extra spice. And then our poblano helps with that nice green chili flavor that you're looking for.
I dig it.
And then this was an addition. I don't think my grandmother used this one, but I like corn. So.
All right. See, the family gets its thumbprint, but then you get to be able to evolve it too.
What I have here is our flour and our cornmeal. We'll add those two together. We'll add our sugar. All right. Here I have our baking powder. And I have a little bit of salt.
Okay.
So we're gonna add those together. And then just a light mix. Once our dry batter is mixed pretty well, now we're gonna move over and we'll do our, what we call our wet batter.
Okay.
So what I have, I'm gonna start with our eggs. I'll add a little oil to it. Let's see, this is a little bit of melted butter.
Okay.
Melted butter is gonna help it spread a little bit easier through our batter. I have some whole milk.
Okay.
You can use 2%, you can use 1%.
All right, so the wet ingredients are going to mix with our dry ingredients now?
Yes, sir. Then what I like to do is slowly do it.
Okay.
It's almost, we call the term slurry. But you want to take and just ease it in there so it takes and stirs pretty well and basically mix it really well. Let's see if we get the rest of this out. Don't want to forget my cheese. Now, it's going to take and absorb some of that moisture that's still in there.
Yeah.
So if the tomato, if you bought the can of tomatoes, that's going to be there. If there's a little bit of beef fat still in there, that's going to be there.
Sure.
So what this will do is soak up and absorb all that moisture that's on the bottom and blend together.
Nice.
It's almost like a dough. You can go a little bit looser is fine. Maybe another, I'd say 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons of milk if you like it a little bit fluffier.
Okay.
This is just going to help us with this one here because there's a little bit of excess moisture from our tomatoes. And then from here, all I have to do now, our slightly cooled pan, we're just going to pour this right over the top and spread it evenly across it.
Nice. Look at that.
All right, so we'll take them with it there.
You know, a joy like this is that it's simple. There's something that sometimes gets so overlooked of sometimes simplicity should be its finest. And a dish like this, simple ingredients, ground beef, Roma tomatoes, peppers, onions, cornbread. But there's that nostalgia piece of it all. Your family, this is part of your routine. And I think that that's beautiful.
I feel like I'm at home right now. Now we can have conversations. We're fed. We have everything we need. It's magic.
Chef Clayton's cornbread casserole recipe and the video of the entire episode are at dinnerdiaz.com. And buckle up, because we also have the recipe for his spicy side of cowboy candy. If my math's correct, we're at number 4 in our countdown of your most read Dinner Diaz recipes. And this next one comes from Chef Wesley Roderick of Tampa sandwich shop Supernatural. He joined us to share his take on tomato soup and grilled cheese.
creamy tomato soup and grilled cheese, man. Doesn't get any better than this.
I mean, like, that's the perfect pairing of flavors and just nostalgia that comes with it. So how do we get there? What's the first step then?
You've got some butter here, you've got some olive oil. Our pan's already hot, so if you don't mind adding maybe 2-3 tablespoons of that olive oil and then just that little bit of butter there.
Okay.
And then to that, you're going to start, we've got some chopped garlic here. Rough chop so everybody knows it doesn't have to be perfect.
Okay.
And then we're going to throw in
Now,
these.
why butter and oil right now and going with the garlic?
I like the nuttiness that the butter gets when it starts to brown a little bit, and then the oil just helps to keep it from browning too fast. So to this, we're going to add our spices. So we've got silk chili here, a mild but super aromatic pepper that is from the Middle East, typically grown in either Syria or Turkey. So this is the salt also. We'll throw that in there. And then once that's on there, we're going to stir it up, pop the lid on, and we will... I got your bowl.
All right. Got everything to that.
Yeah.
Well, let's drop there. There we
Beautiful.
go.
All right.
I'll give this just a nice little bit.
That's looking good. And we also have a little bit of sugar that's going to go in. This is the grandma's secret to kind of kick a little bit of the bitterness that the canned tomatoes can tend to have.
Okay.
So it's not enough that it's going to throw off your diet. It's just enough to
Or make it too
season
sweet.
it. Right, or definitely not make it too sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the right amount. And then the fresh basil. Go ahead and toss that in there.
Love it.
Yep, and you're going to stir just like that. And then from this point, we're not going to simmer it at all. So it's just going to get in there like that. And then once we blend it up, it's all going to come together nice and
So
smooth.
what you're saying is that it's cooked, it's ready?
It's cooked, it's ready to blend. Yep, pass that to you.
Perfect. And we're just going to go straight in with our hand blender here.
Now comes the cheese. So if you don't mind, we're gonna do 50-50. We've got a sharp cheddar.
Okay.
And we've got an aged Gruyere, which is essentially just like an aged Swiss cheese.
Okay.
And you could use any one, but the sharpness and the age gives a depth that you're making a really sexy grilled cheese here. So those are critical components.
These are the critical components.
Yep,
and then, you know, how much cheese is the right amount of cheese?
That's
What's
perfect, yeah.
optimal?
I would say half a cup of each, roughly, on each. You want it to be cheesy. Let's treat ourselves today.
Quality ingredients will make a quality dish happen. And I mean, this is a pairing that has been around since like the dawn of time, folks, okay? Grilled cheese, tomato soup. I mean, it's just like the beautiful marriage of those two. But you can evolve it, you can tweak it, and you can make something like this. I mean, this is absolutely fantastic. Chef Wesley's full recipe for his tomato soup and grilled cheese with all the ingredients and amounts is at dinnerdias.com. And it's not just Dinner Dias viewers who've been impressed by his cooking. Since he appeared on our show, Michelin restaurant inspectors have added his sandwich and wine store, Supernatural, to the Tampa edition of their guide, praising his hearty and impressive food. After the break, our countdown of your most read recipes continues with how to make the perfect pizza thanks to a local expert ahead on Dinner Dias. Welcome back to Dinner Dias. We're double dipping into the ever-growing Dinner Dias recipe archive today to count down the top 5 most read recipes on dinnerdias.com. Next up, the magic number 3. Your third most read recipe was from Sean Ferreira of Madison Avenue Pizza. And you might know them from their culinary creations on Instagram, but don't let the crazy flavors fool you. This is a man who is a pizza perfectionist and share with us how to do his dough.
What we're going to basically do is mix the flour and water together and then just let it rest for a little while so that the flour gets fully hydrated.
Okay.
It's really difficult to make pizza dough without a spiral hook. The spiral hook kind of pushes the dough down, keeps it from clumping up on the hook. In every professional kitchen, you're going to use a spiral hook. So as that starts to come together, we add in the salt. The reason we add in the salt second is because if you add in the salt with the yeast, salt actually kills yeast. So, you know, we're just trying to develop the best product possible. So just staggering it like that is going to help with that. The last step that we'll do as it's mixing on speed 1 is add in the oil. And
Okay.
The same thing as the salt, early oil interferes with gluten development, so we put it in late, right before we switch it into medium.
And what type of oil are you using?
Extra virgin olive.
Just extra virgin olive oil.
A good extra virgin olive oil. The hook should, everything should, at this point, just come cleanly out. The hook should come cleanly off. This dough ball should come just cleanly out of the bowl and be ready to be portioned. You need to turn it from this into a round dough ball.
Okay.
So what I do is I just kind of roll it in on itself over and over, and I'm just kind of turning it until it incorporates. I'm not incorporating any air or anything like that. And then you just kind of pinch this little bottom until it's nice and flat.
And that's
Boom.
it right there.
Yeah, this dough ball shape is going to influence everything. I mean, your pizza is not going to turn out well unless this is round.
Okay.
So getting this right is crucial.
Now, I gotta ask you, are you a throw it in the air type guy? Are you gonna just start really kind of just bring it up and just be like, hey, I'm the Pizzola over here?
Yeah, if you don't mind me getting a little flour.
I'm ready for it. I mean, like, let's see this. Come on now.
So
Go with that, man.
as we stretch it out, gotta be careful. I don't want to overstretch it, and we're just going to.
Now, is
throw it
that just
down.
for TV? Was that just for us today, or do you do that like naturally at the restaurant?
No, it's a good way to stretch. I mean, it's quick. It stretches evenly. A lot of pizza guys do it on every stretch.
So this is one where people should start learning how to stretch the dough the right way, your way, that way, this way.
Absolutely.
Come on now.
So next is the mozzarella. So
Okay.
this is a upside down pie. We put the mozzarella on first.
Okay.
So
Now, why are you going to put that on the bottom? Why are you working your way the other way? Most would say, hey, it's sauce next, then it's a cheese.
the cheese takes on a different flavor when it melts this way.
Okay.
So it's just it gets all gooey and stringy and cheesy. It's a different flavor. As this heats, a lot of it's going to spread out, so you don't need to drown it, but you do want to make sure it's spread out.
Okay. And all you just want to do is just kind of work it from the middle, or do you want to kind of...
You could start wherever. I mean,
Okay.
just as long as you get a nice even coat. This pizza, when it bakes, really comes together. So it looks a lot different when it comes out. So you just want to try and coat the cheese as much as you can, and get it nice and spread out, and then that's it. I like my crust to have, a nice golden brown, and once I see that, that's when I pull it.
Out of this world fantastic. I mean, who doesn't love pizza?
It's for everybody.
It's a universal language for everybody.
Find the full episode with Sean Ferrero, including the recipe for his amaciana sauce. Hard to say, but easy to make at dinnerdias.com. When we come back after the break, our top 2 most read recipes and their 2 classic combos ahead on Dinner Dias. Welcome back to Dinner Dias. We're counting down your most read recipes at our website, dinnerdias.com, with a quick taster of each one of the top 5. And if you just tuned in, we're already in the final stretch as we share our runner-up, the second most read recipe, and it's not just for breakfast anymore. Chef Danier Boulahay from the Dan's Restaurant on Tampa's hotel floor shared how he makes shrimp and grits.
And the process with grits is it's one of those things that even though when we soak them, it speeds up the process, cooking them is still a slow process, right? It's one of those things that slow and low and made with love, right? So stir that in, make sure that it gets in between all of our grits right there. And then we have it on medium heat, and we're gonna wanna bring that to a nice simmer.
Okay.
We're gonna add a little bit of whole butter.
Okay.
So, and in French cooking, there's no such thing as too much butter.
There is not. There is not. Now, salted, unsalted butter?
Unsalted butter, yes.
Okay.
And we're gonna slowly stir that into there, allow that to melt prior to putting in our cream. And like I said, recipes are guidelines. They don't have to be exactly what the recipe says. If you don't like cream in your grits and you want to make them with coconut milk, almond milk, feel free to. You don't want to add butter to them, you don't have to add butter to them, right? It's whatever flavors you like. You want to use a different cheese other than the smoked Gouda cheese that we're about to use today, you can use whatever cheese you want, right? You want to use a Parmesan, a Pecorino, you want to use a Manchego, whatever it is that you want, right? I lived in Wisconsin, I grew up in Chicago. You can't add enough cheese to anything, right? So
Butter and cheese, can't go wrong.
So right now in our hot pan, as you can see, we've added our oil, our garlic, a little bit of the butter. We're adding our shallots to it right now before we add our shrimp.
Okay.
We're gonna give that a little saute. This is part of the portion in the cooking where you can't be afraid of the heat, right? You're gonna need the nice high heat so then we can give our shrimp that beautiful sear that they need, and so then they don't steam up and they're still nice and crunchy on the inside and beautiful.
Now, if you didn't have shallots at the house, could you sub it in some onions for it instead?
Oh yeah, definitely. You could sub in some red onions with it, a little bit of Spanish onion, whatever your preference is. I personally love to cook with red onions constantly at home.
Yep.
We're gonna add our tomatoes right over the top. We're gonna add a little bit of arugula, and we're not gonna cook this down. We're gonna add it, and we almost want it to be raw, right? We just want it to lightly cook, right? Give it a little toss.
So nice. And because of cooking the shrimp with that little bit of wine, it thinned it out and just brings it all together so nice that there's so much movement that it's coating all of my palate. Oh my God.
And it's one flavor right after another. The same way we built it as we cook it, it's the same thing that it does on your palate.
Oh, absolutely love it.
Find Chef Denier's recipe for his shrimp and grits and that tasso ham gravy. And watch the full episode at dinnerdiaz.com, including how the Dan makes their smoked old fashioned. When we come back, we reveal our #1 most read recipe ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz. We've been taking a trip through our recipe archive today, counting down your top 5 most read recipes at our website, dinnerdiaz.com, with teaser tasters of everything on the list, all of which you can see in full online anytime. So, top of the shop, your #1 most read recipe on dinnerdiaz.com. Another family recipe and a one-pan meal of cozy comfort food. Chef Ken Montgomery's Chicken and Dumplings.
Typically, we would use a whole chicken. You have it cut up. You'll cook that and brown that first, and then once you have that brown, you will take it out and then pull that apart.
Okay. And it looks like you already kind of started doing some of that already, too.
Yeah. So
Perfect.
What we got is a whole chicken here.
Nice.
Pulled apart,
Okay.
and once this comes to a simmer, a little bit of a simmer, we'll just throw this chicken in.
And just a simple rotisserie chicken.
Yeah, oftentimes, if you don't have a whole chicken cut up, you just grab a rotisserie, pull that apart. It's easier, it's quicker, and then it has the skin on there already cooked, which adds to the flavor of the dish. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and throw some nice garlic salt.
Nice.
Say about 2 tablespoons of that. About a teaspoon of this crushed red pepper here.
Okay. Now, is that going to make it too spicy?
Not spicy, but it's going to give it a nice flavor of different spices.
Just a little punch of some heat.
Just a little punch.
Just a little bit. Okay.
Some rosemary.
Now,
I'm sorry, some thyme.
Some thyme, all right.
Some thyme here.
That's going to be nice. Gives it a nice little bit of a lemony bite behind it then.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And we have a couple bay leaves we're going to throw in here.
Nice.
Give it a little southern flavor. And one of my favorites that I use along with garlic is some rosemary. So we're going to just put a couple of these in there.
Oh,
Let
nice.
this sit in here and simmer. And while that cooks down, what we want to do is we want to create a well. It's kind of like making biscuits.
Okay.
Southern biscuits. Instead of buttermilk, we have some regular milk here.
Okay.
You can use whole milk. You can use, 2%, however you want.
So it's like whatever's in the fridge, whatever you got out of the house, just bring it out and just make the well, throw it in. And
Just throw it in.
I like that.
So we got the milk here. We're gonna pour this in the middle. And once that butter gets hot, we're gonna also throw that in there. Make sure we pour this down in the well. We're gonna pull them apart. Just pull I would say maybe a tablespoon
Okay.
of a dumpling. You can ball it up
Okay.
like this.
So what? Let me just see this. So
Yeah.
maybe just a little bit less than maybe a golf ball size?
Yeah, it's like a golf ball.
A little bit less than a
size.
golf ball.
Yes,
Okay.
perfect, Jeff. Perfect size, perfect like a golf ball. Make
Okay.
sure you dump this in, and you want to just drop it.
Okay.
Just drop a dumpling in.
So then how are our chicken and dumplings doing then?
Let's check.
All right.
Let's see.
They look good, but how do we know if they're really done?
So what I like to do regarding the dumplings to check to make sure that they've done, I'll just take a toothpick,
Okay.
stick in here.
All right. It's like baking a cake.
Yeah.
It's just literally that easy for it there.
Let it come out clean,
Okay.
and we're good.
All right. Well, you're going for that one. I'm stealing a little bit of a little taste test here
Oh,
because
yeah.
I have to. It's been staring at me. I can't wait. You going dumpling or you going chicken first?
We're going dumpling
I'm going
first,
dumpling
man.
first. I mean, like we gotta go right into it there. All right.
See what we got.
Dude, it looks fantastic. The colors of this, I can see all the vegetables.
All the flavor, the smelling it. What you think, Jeff?
I think you would make your grandma proud
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
because this is a comfort food. This is about generations. This is the simplicity of elevating simple, humble ingredients, but bringing it to a place of reverence and respect. And you paid homage to that by doing this. You cut the corners with the rotisserie chicken,
Yeah.
but hey, that's a modern thing to do because we're all pressed for time. So
Yep.
it's comfort food. It's comfort food. It's quick. It's fantastic, man. It really comes together nicely.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. This is really good.
Find the full episode with Chef Ken's Chicken and Dumplings plus his zucchini squash side at dinnerdias.com. And if you make any of our top 5, we want to see how it turned out. Send us a photo. You can email us dinnerdias@fox.com. I'm Jeff Philbin. Thanks for watching and see you next time with more Dinner Dias.